Hi everybody, now in this video I'm going to be doing some gardening work. I've got some brambles that I've been meaning to attack for ages. They've got out of hand, so we're going to tackle that, weather permitting. A little bit of strimming and maybe the ride-on mower. We'll get that up there and do some cutting as well. But before I start, I'd like to introduce you to my neighbours. Afternoon girls. Aren't they beautiful? Hello. A lovely Jersey there. I do actually have their raw milk. I'll go to the farm and purchase this milk, and it's absolutely beautiful. Right, I won't stop you. Back to work. Making good progress. Now the reason why this is so important for me to keep access to the rear of the property is because shortly, as I explained before, we're going to be working on the cottage. Now I need to erect a scaffold at the back so I can gain access to the gutters and the roof. So I've made good progress, and shortly I will be starting work on the cottage. And I've said it before, but you know how time goes, it gets away from you. So a few important jobs I need to do before I start work on a cottage. This was one of them. Like I say, I'm not going to get rid of the hedge completely, or the brambles. I'm going to cut it into a hedge, so A, we can get the fruit off it still, and wildlife uses it, and it also deters anyone from walking off the edge. Now last year, I had a close escape with my ride-on. I got too close to the edge. There wasn't any brambles there, and the ride-on flipped over. Lucky enough I was side saddle, because I always do along this edge, and the mower still running somersaulted and landed over here, so it's an important boundary as well. Right, I'm battling against the weather more than anything, so I'm gonna crack on. That's it. So we're now at the rear of the property. The ground is elevated up here, so we're sort of near gutter height. If I show you here, this is the end barn. What I have is a series of 4/5 barns and cottages. Now there's a mixture of tiles here, it's a bit of a mishmash. So the slate is one building at the moment, one big barn. Well, it would have actually been a house, but later on it was converted into a barn for storage of hay. So this slate is one section. This section here, if you divide it into two, that's one cottage and that's a barn next to it. So this is the cottage that I mentioned earlier about renovating. So this is the rear elevation of that cottage. Now what I plan to do is put some veluxes in the rear here. We'll talk about the layout of the rooms a little while when we go upstairs, if it's not too dark in there. So the reason why I needed access, as you can see, was to get to the gutters, clean the roof off. A lot of these walls need repointing as well, clear the ivy off. So now when I bought this property, the land here literally went right into the wall. There was a little bit of a ditch, but other than that this was extended over. So we've got a mini digger and a dumper, and me and my friend cleared this whole area. We got quite a few ton out of here, but it allowed access, and once we done it, it actually had grass down there, but we'll get it back to how it was once upon a time. I mean, we've got a walnut tree there. Thanks, squirrel. Didn't actually want it there, but we might get some nuts off it this year. So anyway, that is the cottage in question. Now further along, after the elevated wall, those two cottages have now been knocked through, not by me, but by somebody else, and that is now our main dwelling. So we've got two small cottages knocked through into one. So we've just had some strong gusts of wind. I don't know whether it was that done it, but on the edge there, we've got some loose tiles, so I need to get up there and repair that. There's quite a lot of repair work to these roofs. Some I'm going to be able to save, some maybe time will just get away from me, we'll see. So come on inside, let me explain what I'm talking about. So I did visit this property in an earlier video last year, but for those of you that are new to the channel, just want an update, this is where we are. We're upstairs in the cottage. Now it needs a hell of a lot of work doing in here. I'm going to put some veluxes, 2 in each side. This is probably going to be one big main bedroom with basically an ensuite shower room here. The stairway is going to be reorientated so it comes out this way into the room. All of this clay sort of insulation, if you like, that's all going to come off. There's an urgent repair that needs doing the other side to support this A-frame. It's okay at the moment because I've got some acros underneath, but it's a very urgent repair that I must do very soon. So, order of works, we're going to start from the top. As with most renovations, you start from the top, work your way down. Windows in, we're going to insulate, we're going to put stud work walls in, going to line the floor with maybe some ply, maybe some parquet flooring on top, not quite sure yet, depends what materials I've got at hand. So this will be a main job to come down and basically assess all the construction of the A-frames. They all look okay, but yeah, they do need a little bit of work here and there, so it's going to be an exciting project. Currently it's absolutely pouring down outside and windy. To be honest with you, there isn't any leaks in here, which is a good sign. Like I said, out the back there's some loose tiles on the flank of that side which need addressing, that's no problem, and an urgent repair which is part of next door's barn really, but adjoins this one. So some remedial work, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this project started. Long way overdue, so yeah. So I'm now underneath the main A-frame in the centre of the building. We've got a huge beam that runs through, tightening up the top of the A-frame. Quite unusual because we've got a beam directly below this, a huge beam, so I'm going to look into whether or not I can actually remove this. I might put a partition wall in here, maybe cut it through there and then join down into the beam below, maybe put some tension wires in, not quite sure yet. So that's the main beam, maybe coming out, not quite sure yet. Now behind me is the chimney breast from down below. We've got a nice open fireplace down there. Now this is staying, and do some repair work on this. We're going to readdress the walls either side, maybe some partitioning with some insulation in to make it nice and cosy up here. So we're going to have a wood burner downstairs. Now what is exciting about this project is I want this to be, as far as the electrics go, completely off grid. I want to run this project via solar panels. I don't want to be connected to the main grid. That's not the purpose of this project for me. It needs to be sort of low impact, low cost and flexible. So I'm going to look into some options for this. Not quite sure. I mean, I'm not by no means an electrician, but I don't think you need to be for this sort of thing. So I'm going to do my homework on that, and I'll get back to you on what I think I'm going to do with it. So that's the plan. Going to be low energy. I'm going to try and source my materials as ecologically as possible. If I've got them, or I can buy second hand, I will. Some things you can't odds, you have to buy new, but yeah, I'll try and keep that to a minimum, A, for cost and also the environmental side of things. So yeah, I look forward to kicking this project off fairly soon. So when it's raining outside, I can always fall back in here, do a little bit after work. Need some lighting up here, so maybe I'll address that issue very, very shortly. Follow me on this journey, and if you haven't already, hit that like button, reminder bell and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video.